the police are the only line of defense from us saving the world. And here they are, destroying our village here. It's crazy. It's crazy. The police state that we live in. Can I ask you a question? You mind? It's very serious, and I asked a lieutenant this the other day, Lieutenant Smith or Commander Smith. I'm not sure what his rank is, but I was just saying, how does he feel about being somewhat the only line of defense from us possibly saving the world in a sense?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, you guys are the only thing that separates. All right, when there is anything that comes between the society and some type of uprising, they'd always line it with people. It doesn't matter what those people are. They're always lined with people who work for some type of the city affiliate, the government, some type of line of militant, So you guys are that line of defense that separates like our grievances to, to getting it to that other line of people who needs to hear it, or the people who are in control of that. So by you guys protecting or defending, I don't know, all the issues and all the people who are at hand, I guess the ideal of why we're even here, you guys are the only line of defense from us saving the planet in a sense. Because our only battle is with you guys. Unfortunately, we're out here battling each other.
I think that a lot of times when people have a grievance, they focus that grievance in the wrong direction. And the police is here to maintain the public order, to make sure that laws are observed and obeyed, that nobody gets hurt, and that everybody's safe.
And I completely agree, but that's where I think that the confusion comes in, because it's like, what is the actual public order? If we are considered the public being here, and then we should have, the people who inhabit the society should have the mechanisms of control, those are the people who inhabit, so they should be the ones that decide how things somewhat go on,
And that's democracy.
Right. But if you have someone who's impeding on that, especially a line of force that's, getting in the way of these people having legitimate concerns, because ultimately these concerns are addressing all of them. They're not just concrete to us as an individual. They're everyone who's walking these streets. Me personally, I'm out here because I feel like communication has been broken completely. The ability to walk past someone and not acknowledge them is the reason why we have a society that is so ill, because we're not able to communicate. Death is not feared anymore. It's public speaking out in public. People don't want to talk. That alone is an issue. I think that's something worth talking about. It's worth shedding light upon. And it sucks, because it's not you individually saying, yeah, I want to stop these people from doing what they're doing, but having the potential and having a job that'll allow that, it kind of sucks for us,
Well, I think that if you look at it very broadly, the public isn't just you, but it's also everybody else in the society,
right,
who may not necessarily share your goals and ideas. And that's why our democracy has to represent not only your interests, but the interest of the other people who don't necessarily agree with you.
Well, it's usually in this circumstance, it's dealing with the people who invested the most interest, as far as monetary and money, It's not, we live in a society where unless you have money, you can't even speak. That's why people go out and do fundraisers, and people go out and do rallies and do all these things to raise all this money just to have their voices heard. When the average person, to have the ability to speak, everyone should be able to have their voices heard, It shouldn't really matter. It's crazy. I think it's wild. I think things are going to change slowly.
At 300 million Americans, how does everyone have the opportunity to be heard?
Well, ultimately, it's just freedom of expression. If your expression is not hindered in any certain way, if you're not harming anyone and no one's impeding on your expression, you're going to be fine. You're going to be happy. You're going to be able to fulfill yourself. Whatever I think it is, I don't know. I think it's more than just writing a book. I think a lot of art forms that we have today, they come out of struggle, oppression. Our society, we feed on having a story that comes out of the gutter. We feed on having that story coming out of the gutter. We like that for some reason. But
the idea is that we don't want to impede individual freedoms until they impede on someone else's. And I think that what happens often is that people start focusing on their own freedom, and they forget that they have to respect the freedom of others.
Right. I understand.
So, I mean, if I decide that I have a message and I want to go paint it on the side of your house, that doesn't make it okay just because I have a message I want to express.
Nah, I
it's
wouldn't.
still your house.
Right,
You know?
right. But if I'm the one causing all your pain, I wouldn't. I would completely see where you're coming from if you were to
Right,
paint
but
a
that doesn't
message
make
on
it
my
okay.
house.
See what I'm saying?
It doesn't make it okay, but I don't question the individual's actions completely. I question the reasons and the motives behind that, because if it's not Hal here, it's someone else in this position. You know, it's just we're all human beings here, so it's not ultimately the individual that I blame. It's the cloud that of corruption that allowed him to do that. You know, that's what we should be questioning. That's what we should be looking at. We shouldn't be going around trying to point fingers at the individual, because this problem is going to continue to happen if that. If that energy or that cloud is still exists in that
Right,
society.
the person is still responsible for their individual actions.
They are. But you got to equip the society with the tools to be able to make those actions and those choices equally.
Well, I would say that our society here in America, we have probably the most ability for the individual to affect policy and to affect change. I mean, you look at a place like Syria or Egypt, where even the masses, the thousands and the hundreds of thousands, still can't have a voice and still don't affect any change.
No, I agree.
Here, this demonstration went on for a number of months, not because the
2
police
months.
didn't know it was here, or not because the police, couldn't do anything about it. It was because the political structure of this city allowed it to continue, and that's fine. But once there is a problem, and once something has to be addressed, then we are the hands of that political system, and we have to take that action. That's our responsibility.
And that's the crazy part. See, that's the thing that's crazy. See, I agree to everything that you're saying, but that's the issue that I have. To say that someone has the right to have something or have the right to free speech is basically saying that our right is in you guys' hands, like that right. We're saying, please protect my free speech, right? Those words alone are implying that this is free speech, this phone, and you guys are the hands that are protecting it. But when you guys are the hands that are protecting, you guys also are the hands that are able to, do this here.
I hear what you're saying, but the reality is that all of our rights